Well, they haven't thrown us out of the Bahamas just yet. More basketball coming up as the big Blue Bahamas tour streams along here in Nassau. Chalons-Reims today against the Kentucky Wildcats. A team out of France already met Kentucky one time. It's all coming your way from the Kendall Isaacs National Gymnasium in a matter of moments. You see a look at this big Blue Bahamas tour, which consists of 6 games. Kentucky, this will be number 5. They have won their 4 previous games by an average of 24 points, although they did get a little bit of a contest yesterday from the Dominican Republic national team, but the Cats won that by a dozen. And a pleasant good afternoon again, everybody. Dave Neal alongside Jay Billis. Welcome to our SEC Network coverage of the Big Blues Bahama Tour. And you've had a chance to look at this Kentucky team now 4 times, going on your 5th. And we've talked a lot about the size and whatnot, but how about the backcourt? The Harrison's twins, a couple of guys that some thought might jump to the pros or, jump and put their names in the draft, but yet they stayed around. What's been your impression to this point?
They have really matured. They're in better shape, much more mobile, and starting with Aaron Harrison, who's the leading returning scorer from last year's Final Four team. Aaron Harrison averaging just under 11 points on this trip. He's not just a spot-up shooter. He's been running ahead, trying to get opportunistic threes, but he's also putting the ball on the deck and has done a really good job of hunting his shot while at the same time sharing the ball. And speaking of sharing the ball, Andrew Harrison has done the best at that. He is leading this team in assists on this tour and has done a good job in transition, but also putting the ball on the deck and trying to get it into the lane, draw the defense, and get it to those big guys who have been super efficient in large part because of Andrew Harrison.
When you look at that lineup for Chalons-Reims, you'll notice some familiar names. Lionel Chalmers, he certainly played collegiately at Xavier. You'll also see Tasman Mitchell, number 12. He played at LSU. And Deshaun Butler, another outstanding player in his college days out of West Virginia. Darrell Watkins, he played for Syracuse out of Patterson, New York. And we are ready for tip. You look at Barry Rorson, a man they call Slice, new to the Kentucky staff this year. He will be acting as the head coach today, as Coach Cal will sit up in the stands and be a spectator to some degree. You see the Hampton brothers, John and Brent, along with Bart Lennox, are officials. They have been down here throughout the week. All 3 SEC officials in the coming year.
Kentucky starting off in man-to-man. This initial lineup in this platoon system that John Calipari and his staff have been using have gone between man and zone. Usually the second unit has played some zone, and this first unit has played a good deal of man, almost exclusively man-to-man.
A turnover right out of the gates by Chalmers, who slipped on the deck.
One of the things that this Chalons-Reims team has been working on the last few days has been their zone offense. Because of that second unit, last time these two teams played, the zone really threw off this French team, and they've really worked on some zone offense.
A 2-man game in the corner. Gary Johnson had it slapped out of his hands. Here's Chalmers.
Much better transition defense by Kentucky.
Tasman Mitchell lost the handle, wanted to shoot it.
Mitchell really wanted the ball. He's trying to post up Aaron Harrison. Now he goes to the outside.
Big rebound just ripped out of there by Watkins. Nice pass underneath. Layup can't go down. Back the other way come the Cats. Poitras, team's leading scorer in this event, over 15 a game.
A couple of turnovers early for Kentucky in the half-court offense. They got it into Dakari Johnson, and the inside-out interaction all trip long has been good for Kentucky, but Johnson just can't show the ball when he turns to go up. A lot of ball screens and some random action that Kentucky can switch. They can switch at all 4 positions except for the 5.
Boy, another near turnover by Kentucky. Last touch by Tasman Mitchell. It'll still belong to the Wildcats. 23 on the shot clock. We talked a little bit about the college ties from the Chalons-Reims team, and you see plenty of guys that play collegiately in the States.
Now, Dave, it used to be, back when I played professionally overseas, you could only have a couple of foreign players per team. Everyone else would be a French national. Nice drive and ball screen out top by Dakari Johnson. Well, that really clears a lot of space for Andrew Harrison to take advantage of. now with the European Union, you can have basically as many foreigners as you want. Now, this team is just about all guys that have played in the United States or from the United States.
Boy, nice spin move by Mitchell. Can't convert, keeps it alive.
Still the size of Kentucky around the rim, forcing the miss.
Well, Kentucky won the first game between these two clubs by 23 points. 81-58 back on Monday. Boy, Darryl Watkins is one big man. 6'8", 260 pounds. Nice spin move inside out of Syracuse.
He's going against another big man in Dakari Johnson, and Johnson just about, he matches him size-wise. Not quite as bulky, but I think he will be as he gets older and more mature physically. Good ball screen.
Air ball by Booker, the freshman. Kentucky a little sluggish offensively here to start this one. Little dump down, nice hands by Watkins to lay it in.
It's a little bit too easy on that screen and roll action. You know Watkins is going to roll every time that he screens.
Aaron Harrison knocks down a three.
That is his spot. Left side of that floor seems where he hits a good number of his shots, and especially the big ones. Nice cut, poorly executed.
Well, Kentucky turns it over again.
Hey Dave, this has really been the only stretch on this tour where Kentucky has looked bad. They've looked bad the first 4 minutes, and this has not been the way they have played the majority of time here in the Bahamas.
And another turnover will give it back to Chalons-Reims. Darryl Watkins out of Syracuse leading the charge for the team from France.
And as bad as Kentucky has looked out of the gate, the Wildcats are still up by 1. Nice move by the former Syracuse big guy, shooting over the top of Dakari Johnson, and just a little bit of space is all Aaron Harrison needs.
5-4, Kentucky out in front. 15:58 to go in the opening half of the Big Blue Bahamas tour. Good look at the beach outside the Hilton Hotel here in Nassau. And this tour continues on tomorrow. It'll wrap up at 1 o'clock Eastern right here on the SEC Network, as Kentucky will face the Dominican Republic national team one more time. 2 games against Puerto Rico. This is the second against Chalons-Reims, and 2 against the Dominican Republic. Nice little trip for Kentucky. There are a bunch of teams that have made their way down here to play some basketball, but the scores, the numbers for Kentucky so far, pretty impressive by Poitras.
Really impressive. He has played not well, but great. And I think he's played like a veteran and as well as he's capable of playing. This could be a 5-second call if Donald Chalmers doesn't get moving.
John Hampton was on the same count you were on.
Well, Lionel Chalmers, you mentioned, played at Xavier. He helped lead the Musketeers to the 2004 Elite 8. Played alongside Romain Sato and David West on that team, but he's playing against a small point guard, Tyler Eulis, that can really pressure the ball. He's played against him before that first game, but he's really a difficult defender to shake.
Willis, nice little runner in the lane.
And this is the lineup that likes to press full court, and they can change the tempo of the game.
Throughout this trip, Kentucky has flip-flop 5. It's been a group will play for 4 minutes, and they'll make a full-fledged substitution with a fresh 5. Boy, how about that from Eulis, the freshman? My goodness.
Just the poise to change speeds.
That won't go by Chalmers.
Even something as simple as he saw Karl Towns was in trouble after getting that rebound and immediately goes back to get the ball from him. Makes himself available. He's got a great feel for what's going on out in the court in all 5 spots.
Mitchell cuts baseline. The reverse layup is in.
Boy, really nice cut. Just past Marcus Lee. Wasn't quite paying attention. Got caught ball watching.
Tell you what, been impressed by number 3 so far from what I have seen.
Well, he is an impressive player. Just splitting that pick and roll, getting right through that defender, staying low. And people say he's 5'9". Of course he's staying low, but he even stays low for 5'9". and really stays low as a defender. And gets up underneath you and pressures the ball for 94 feet. His mother, Kelly, really enjoying watching her son play, as is everyone else who gets to watch him play. He's really good.
Well, it's been a good trip for this freshman class to come in and play. Devin Booker, Tyler Eulis, Carl Towns have gotten a ton of minutes. The one guy that hasn't seen a lot of minutes is Trey Lyles, as he's still coming off an injury. He's been here with the team working out, but just not suited up for game action. Don't forget, weekdays, ESPN Radio's Paul Feinbaum shares his knowledge and opinions on SEC football. It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on the SEC Network. It's also available live on the Watch ESPN app.
It's a great show, and I think it should be more like Ohio State. It should be referred to as the Paul Feinbaum Show.
You know, I like to think that where I went to school, Florida State, we like to refer to ourselves as the Florida State University, but nobody really pays much attention to that like they do Ohio State.
It's just because Ohio State says it so often.
After the timeout,
and Chalmers having to turn his back and start the offense out awfully high. So this lineup, these 5 guys, when they're platooned in, really do a pretty good job at defending. Great job by Eulis.
Just picked the pocket of Gary Florimont back the other way. Eulis was set up. This offense, well, what a treat though for Eulis to learn and play against some of these professional players on a regular basis here on this trip.
Not much of a treat for the professionals to have to play against him, though. That's the problem. Boy, such good fakes.
High arching shot from Marcus Lee drops.
Now, most big guys would have walked trying to make the moves that Carl Towns just made there. He didn't get a shot off, but showed some poise. Offensive. No, they got
Hawkins on that foul.
When the ball goes inside here to Florimont, as soon as he puts the ball on the deck, Eulis is there for when he spins. Just really a great presence of mind and great feel by Tyler Eulis.
Boy, tough bank shot off the window by Michel Mirandis. Played his college ball in Colorado.
Averaged about 16 a game there in the early 2000s. He's a good player there.
1 point Kentucky lead. Oh, boy, Eulis just got hammered on a screen. They're going to say it was a moving pick, and as you've said time again, when they're playing in France in professional league, that's probably not a whistle.
Probably not. And this is one where, you know, maybe a little push off there. I don't think there was that much to that. It just looked bad.
When you're that little going up against a guy that's that much larger than you.
And that happens sometimes in college. You know, sometimes you get a whistle just because you are bigger.
Never happened to you, did it?
A lot. Sadly, I wasn't bigger enough.
Tapped around right into the hands of Tasman Mitchell. The former LSU star lost the handle. It will belong to Chalons-Reims. Tasman Mitchell, good to see him. Boy, what an SEC career he had. Coming out of high school, was Mr. Basketball in the state of Louisiana in 05. 3rd in points, 6th rebounds, 8th in steals, 10th in assists all time at LSU.
And to be 3rd all time in scoring, I mean, everybody that ever played college basketball is behind number 1. That's right, Pete Maravich. But the only other LSU Tiger in front of him on the all-time list is Rudy Macklin. Played on that 1981 Final Four team, lost to Indiana.
Mitchell threw it away, and you know, you got to understand, for this, a lot of these guys on the Chalons-Reims team just are fresh players this year. This is preparation for their upcoming season as well.
Yeah, this is basically their training camp. But whether they're in the best possible shape or not, they've got 5 new bodies coming at them all the time. They've got basically the same 5 out there. Well, you know the scouting report says make Aaron Harrison put it on the floor, and when he's had to put it on the floor, he's done a really good job. But you can't. One thing you cannot let him do, because he's got NBA range, is catch and shoot.
And another turnover. That time, Mark Payne, who just checked in, moved out of the way. Ball goes out of bounds. Kentucky leads it by 4. John Calipari watching his club in action today. We are in the Bahamas, a great place. We'll come back, have more of the sights and sounds from Nassau in a moment. Well, you're looking at the Atlantis Resort, home to many of the teams here. The River Tube ride takes about 25-30 minutes to float around on that, unless you're in a real big hurry. The Queen's Staircase, about 65 steps carved out of limestone. There's the Government House, official residence of the Governor of the Bahamas, built back in 1806, right outside the British Colonial Hilton, which opened in 1923, and just outside the Straw Market. How about a little steel band? Some great music down here. Everybody's smiling. It has just been a wonderful week. You've been down here a little bit longer than I have. I've enjoyed it a little bit more than I have, but not to say that I haven't enjoyed my fair share. This has been a nice trip, and it's to see all the Kentucky fans that made it down here to support the Wildcats has been amazing.
It's been great, and it's been a great trip for Kentucky to be able to get 6 games in 8 days against quality competition at this time of year, 11 practices or so, and get a good feel for who you are at this point is really beneficial. There are a number of teams that have come to the Bahamas for these tours. You get to take one of these every 4 years. You can take a foreign tour. And to be able to do this, but most of the teams that come down here are playing local professional teams and, you know, beating them by 50. And to be able to play against quality competition, I think is really important for Kentucky, and they're going to get a lot out of it.
Andrew Harrison with the layup. Speaking of that, North Carolina showed up yesterday. They were kind of a late addition to come down here to the Bahamas to play some basketball. They got beat yesterday by a team from here in Bahamas.
It's kind of like their game early season last year against Belmont. You know, there's no reason they should have lost, but they missed a ton of free throws, a ton of open threes. They went against a 2-3 zone. Now, North Carolina only had 4 practices before they came over here, but still, you know, that's not the kind of loss you want to see. They'll certainly recover from it. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm sure it was very frustrating.
Hard work underneath for Dakari Johnson, gets a basket. Kentucky's lead is now 6. Chalons-Reims, by the way, has turned it over 8 times. You can make it 9 times now here in the opening half, and they thought there was a foul. Nicola Antich, the head coach of this Chalons-Reims team, not happy with it. But the Summer of Thunder, here are the teams that have been down here to play some basketball. Pretty good lineup.
Really good lineup. Got a technical foul on the French bench. You know, when Antich when Leska got trapped over on the sideline, Kentucky went after the ball. They weren't just slapping at it. They went after the ball with both hands. Now, could the Wildcats guy have gotten an arm a little bit? Maybe. But really what it was a point guard picking up his dribble in a bad area, and he got trapped. And it was a good trap. Chalons-Reims hung with Kentucky in the first game on Monday. That was a 6-7 point game at halftime, if I remember correctly. In a 7-point game right now, you wonder, is this something that could get a little bit out of hand? Like, that's not a foul. That should have been a 5-second call. I mean, that's right in front of us. I don't blame Nicola Antich for, you know, moaning at the officials. That's what coaches do.
Kentucky's lead is 7. Here goes Andrew Harrison. Nice pass to Johnson.
Well, Dave, you can kind of feel that this one was had the chance to get a little bit out of hand. Not that 9 points is out of hand, but when they start going behind their back on you, they're feeling comfortable. And I've been really impressed with the way that Kentucky's guards have come off of ball screens. They're not blasting off 1,000 miles an hour. They're taking their time and letting the play develop.
Nice Nice little pull-up jump shot from Mark Payne.
Mark Payne did a really good job in the first game of taking driving opportunities. He can shoot it. He's a lefty, but he can also put it on the deck. So you got to watch his shot fake when he catches it now.
Going to call goaltending on that. Give the basket to Kentucky. This might just be one of your Sports Center top 10 nominees, I would suspect.
Little handoff, picks off Leska, and then a beautiful pass behind the back by Andrew Harrison. Leading this team in assists on this trip. Not by a little, by a lot. He's done a really good job. Both he and Tyler Lyles have really been the assist guys here on a team that has really shared the ball.
In this tournament, 21 assists for Andrew Harrison, 16 assists for Tyler Lyles. Little run out by Chalons-Reims, and the layup goes down.
Landrietti did a really good job knocking that ball away from Devin Booker. Chalons-Reims has fought back to make it a 4-point game. Then they just foul. One thing Kentucky's got to think about doing is going inside and playing inside out. Let Johnson touch it. Poitras hasn't touched it much.
Poitras has been very quiet here.
It's been a disjointed game a little bit.
Poitras has yet to score here in the opening half. He leads the team over 15 a game in this Bahamas tour.
Well, 7 on the clock. Gotta get moving.
This is one of the first times the shot clock has been a consideration this entire trip.
Kentucky had a chance to move this thing out. It was 9 a couple minutes ago, and they've been a little bit loose with their possessions.
Nice up and under move from Darryl Watkins. He has another basket. That's money out of the corner from Booker. Back the other way, and a foul against Kentucky.
That's just poor transition defense by Kentucky.
That foul on Booker, but Harrison showing you a little ball skill. The Wildcats with another throwdown. They've had a ton of dunks here at Isaac's Gymnasium in the Bahamas. Look at some of the massive yachts outside of Atlantis. I'm talking about, I thought I had seen yachts before. No, I hadn't seen any until I came down here. Some of the boats down here are incredible. A lot of things about this have been incredible. Andrew Harrison having I wouldn't say incredible, but a very solid tour here in the Bahamas.
He's played very well. I think he's solidified himself as the starting point guard for this team, and made a lot of really good decisions. He's had a few turnovers. You'd expect that. It's August, but he's done a really good job, and he's done a much better job defensively than he did toward the end of last year. I mean, you're talking about a team that went on a run that finished up in the national championship game against Connecticut. But he has quarterbacked a Final Four team and has picked up where he left off last year and has gotten better, as has his brother Aaron.
Boy, how about the run of shots that Aaron was able to knock down in that tournament. Big three-pointers against Wisconsin, Michigan, Louisville. I mean, you dream of one.
Yeah, it's really almost ridiculous when you think about it. For a guy to hit one of those, as you said, would be a career dream. And he hit them all in succession in the NCAA tournament. And, you know, shots that if he doesn't hit them, Kentucky's not moving on. Kentucky has been very loose with the ball. I mean, Chalons-Reims has turned the ball over a fair amount, 9 or 10 times, but Kentucky's almost matched that.
Yeah, 6 now for the Wildcats. And the turnovers have certainly kept Chalons-Reims in this game, down 1 now.
2-3 zone now for Chalons-Reims. This is something I think John Calipari likes to see if the ball will move and then gaps get attacked.
Willis off the back of the iron, long rebound. Right back to Derek. Nice cut and another flush.
Karl Towns has a really nice passing instinct. The ball does not stick in his hands. He's got very good vision, and he's not rushed. A lot of big guys, they get the ball, they're in a rush to do something with it. One of the things is just to get rid of it, but he's not. Great cut.
Nice reverse layup by Mark Payne.
Well, instead of just standing as that drive, a lot of guys will just stand to space the floor, but oftentimes if your defender turns his head, you can get a layup out of it by just cutting to the basket. Usually basket cuts are never wrong.
Towns misses the shot. Another offensive rebound. A second chance opportunity for the Wildcats. Freshman to freshman. Eulis. Hawkins in the lane. 5-point game.
If you come off your man and try to block that shot, Hawkins can just throw it to the rim. If you don't, he takes the shot.
30-27. Leska in trouble. Finds Watkins. Will hit it out to Butler. Shoots an air ball for Deshaun.
Well, the size of Kentucky really affecting Chalons-Reims.
And Deshaun Butler picks up the foul.
Just beautiful passing by Kentucky against the 2-3 zone. Ball goes into the high post to Towns. As soon as the defender turned his head, Derek Willis cuts right to the basket and gets an easy one. And John Calipari had to enjoy that. Didn't look like he was enjoying it there. He was questioning something, but
Hawkins misses on the free throw. Dominique, the sophomore out of Richmond, Kentucky, former Mr. Basketball and the Bluegrass out of Madison Central High School.
Here comes the full court pressure by Kentucky. Smart to throw over the top.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Payne, Watkins having a very productive afternoon. Watkins with 8 points, couple of rebounds. Tasman Mitchell has 9 to lead Chalons-Reims, and another turnover by the Cats.
Tough to make that pass down below the waist of a teammate against that zone. You want to get into the lane and then throw it up top when you can.
Boy, Leska having a tough day of it. Caught that one on his hip for another turnover.
Had a lot of pressure on him. He's either got Andrew Harrison at his size, or he's got the pesky individual defender Tyler Eulis up underneath him.
Count the shot for Kentucky, but a foul underneath. I think that'll go against Lee as Mark Payne hit the deck right underneath the basket.
A good screen by Towns, and it looked like Lee got him with the elbow.
You know, that's one of those plays we'd see in a regular season being reviewed to see if the elbow up above the shoulders.
I was just thinking that. Thankfully, they're laid back in the Bahamas. Not going to do that.
Right.
I mean, what happens? They suspend him from going to the pool in the afternoon?
Right. Fall away jumper won't go, but the follow is there by Butler.
No block out by Kentucky. Boy, Butler had an amazing career at West Virginia. Played for both John Beilein and Bob Huggins. Went to the Final Four in 2010. Actually scored 18 points. I think had 10 rebounds in that Elite Eight game against John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins to keep the Wildcats from going to the Final Four that year.
Good work underneath by Mr. Towns. He gets the lay-in off the window.
You know, it's funny, Dave. Towns is a terrific player. It's funny, it doesn't seem like Kentucky's playing well at all, and they're still ahead.
They're having a tough time slowing down Mr. Watkins, who now has 10 in the game.
They're just having a tough time slowing the ball down. They made Chalons-Reims take it out of the net. They still gave up a layup. But again, it's August. You know, transition. You don't expect your transition defense to be perfect.
We're going to say offensive goaltending. Wave it off. Kentucky leads by 3 here in the first half. Our under 4 timeout. We'll take it with them. Look at the aquarium. Some of the shots from Atlantis. A lot of fun here in the Bahamas. Just across the street from the Kendall Isaacs National Gymnasium, where we sit currently with Kentucky and Chalons-Reims in a pretty close ball game. 36-33 is our tally with 3:40 to go before halftime. And right out of the timeout, a turnover, and Nicola Antich, the head coach of this Chalons-Reims team, just shakes his head as Kentucky gets 2 off the turnover.
And that's the Alex Poitras we have seen through the first 4 games of this trip. And yeah, I think this is good for Kentucky to get challenged like this and to have to answer maybe when they didn't come out with the same kind of energy or focus as they have in some of the other games where they've blown some teams out. I mean, the first game against Chalons-Reims was a close one at halftime, 5 points. But this one has a little bit of a different feel.
Well, Poitras with his first basket of the game. Eddie will step to the free throw line to attempt a 3-point play.
Chalons-Reims is getting to the basket too easily against Kentucky. That's something that they did not do in the first game that these two teams played. Kentucky did a better job of protecting its paint and protecting its basket.
And you can count that one for Aaron Harrison off the glass.
He looks so much better driving the ball this year than last. I know he put it on the deck at times last year and did very well with it, but he's such a good shooter. You've got to press up on him in transition. He's doing a really good job of running the floor, and Kentucky passes ahead, and that can be a real weapon, both he and Devin Booker. But he has driven the ball very effectively and has been able to get really good shots off when he's not been allowed a straight line drive. Really impressive by Aaron Harrison. But Poitras is really defending well. He's making it very, very difficult for Deshaun Butler to catch the ball where he wants. And then, of course, Butler lifts his eyebrows, and Poitras is gone as soon as I praise his defense.
And a foul against Kentucky.
You know, that shot that you just have to keep on the floor. You know, Butler hasn't been killing him from the perimeter. You can put some late pressure on that shot. What you want to protect is the paint.
So Deshaun Butler gets the front end.
An all Big East performer. Really had not a good career, a great college career. It was a second-round pick of the Miami Heat in 2010 after he injured that knee in the Final Four against Duke.
You know, he was one of 10 finalists for the Wooden Award.
Well, they're going to that horn set.
Booker. Andrew Harrison now with the shot clock under 10. Andrew in the lane. Follow won't go. Poitras had his hands on it. Here comes Eddie out of the pack with it.
Both Poitras and Johnson were there for that offensive rebound, just didn't get it. But Andrew Harrison got the matchup he wanted. He got a switch with Watkins on him. Just wasn't able to complete it. Got a little bit of contact on the shot.
Nice drive to the basket by Mirandis.
Chalons-Reims is just turning the corner on Kentucky off these little ball screens. They switched a lot of those in the first game. They're not switching them as effectively now. And there are way too many straight line drives, too many layups that Kentucky's been giving up.
And heck, with 90 seconds to go before halftime, a chance to tie or take the lead right here for Chalons-Reims.
Well, that was Dakari Johnson's fault there. He's got to be up on that screen. You can't just let a guy turn the corner and waltz down the lane on you.
Fall away three from Lionel Chalmers is perfect. And now Chalons-Reims has the lead. Harrison, that won't go. Batted around. And Mirandis tripped up, but it'll be Chalons-Reims basketball with 57 seconds to go before halftime.
Well, this is not all bad for Kentucky and for John Calipari. To see his team have to fight a little bit of adversity, maybe down at halftime. I mean, there's still just under a minute to go. Let's see how they respond. I mean, that's why he put him in this situation.
Tapped around, and Butler couldn't hang on to it. They're going to say a foul against Chalons-Reims and Mirandis.
I'm sure Nicola Antich will have something to say to the officials about that, saying our traps are different than their traps. What's the difference?
Right.
Yeah, can't pick up your dribble. Easy for me to say. I didn't have the pressure on me, but
boy, errant pass. And Chalmers lays it up and in.
Well, Kentucky has just been too loose with the ball, been a little out of sync. Some of the pressure of Chalons-Reims and the changing defense from man to zone has affected them a little bit. It looks like they're going to be down for the first time in this trip.
A layup at the horn counts for Harrison, but the Wildcats will go into the locker room down 44-43.
Andrew Harrison with the nice drive and finish to cut it to one. But for the first time in the Bahamas, just a tiny bit of adversity faced by the Wildcats. We'll see how they regroup at halftime and come out in the second half.
Chalons-Reims up by one, 44-43. A little sloppy play from the Wildcats. Coach Cal will discuss those issues with his club in the locker room. We'll come back, have our halftime activities from Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium here in the Bahamas. Back in Nassau at the Kendall Isaacs National Gymnasium, the Big Blue Bahamas Tour on another gorgeous day here in the Bahamas, but it's not been so gorgeous for Kentucky. They trail by one, 44-43 after 20 minutes of play. The first time here in their 5 games that they have played to this point. They have trailed at the break. And impressions of what went wrong, I guess, for Kentucky in the first 20 minutes.
Well, I think it would start out defensively. This is the first time on this trip that Kentucky really didn't defend. They gave up a ton of layups, some in transition, some in the half court. I mean, you know, Chalons-Reims shot close to 70% in the first half, primarily because they got layup after layup after layup, and Kentucky didn't really change the tempo defensively. They didn't impose their will, and they didn't score off their defense, which they did in the first 4 games. But still, I mean, they gave up 44 points in the first half, which has not been anywhere near what they've done defensively on this tour thus far. But hey, listen, trying to play 6 games in 8 days is not easy. You can't expect it all the time.
Especially here in the Bahamas. A lot of things going on. Take a look at some of those first half highlights, though.
Well, Aaron Harrison was primarily the offense for Kentucky when they didn't get a lot in transition. He was getting it with a jump shot, catching it, putting it on the deck, getting fouled. So he had over 10 points that first half, but the defense was really the problem. Layup after layup after layup, off cuts, off a little roll to the basket on a simple pick and roll action. Then in transition, giving up a layup against the press. You know, that's one thing that I think Kentucky has to do a much better job of, and that's protecting the paint and forcing Chalons-Reims to shoot over the top and then trying to capitalize off these turnovers. They forced 12 of them, but they didn't get anything going the other way.
73% shooting for Chalons-Reims. Kentucky shot great, 56%. They've been shooting 53% throughout this Bahamas tour. They've had, you know, it's kind of, I guess, kind of come full circle a bit because what Chalons-Reims is doing is what Kentucky's been doing most of this event, and that is a lot of layups, a lot of dunks.
Yeah, and a lot of that has come off Kentucky's defense. And in this game, Kentucky's defense has, you know, they're trying, but it hasn't been quite in sync.
Lyles and Hawkins along with Towns get the start. Lee also in there, and how about Towns stepping out, showing you got a little range.
Well, he has shown everything here on this trip to the Bahamas. And John Calipari, this little cross screen underneath, that was just too easy. And another turnover for Chalons-Reims. But John Calipari was getting on Karl Towns about his perimeter shot, saying, I don't want you shooting it on your tiptoes. It's got to be a jump shot. Get off the floor.
The toe riser's not working for him, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
That's my shot. That's my church league shot right there. But you don't want to get too high, 'cause you might get hurt on the way down. That's kind of been my philosophy.
Well, at our age.
Willis. Boy, Towns trying to set up against Watkins. Willis getting a little fancy with the dribble and the turnover. Boy, nice opportunity from Rondas to lay it in off the back of the iron. Here comes Hawkins the other way. Catch, shoot, way off the mark. Tasman Mitchell with a rebound. Mitchell had 9 in the first half. One shy of Watkins, who led Chalons-Reims with 10. On the flip side, it was a 10-point performance by Aaron Harrison to lead the way. And another turnover. Well, we'll hear from Coach Cal here at the a little bit later on here in the second half. Get his thoughts on the performance today from his Kentucky club.
I would think, well, he's probably got plenty of critiques for his team's play. He's got to like the fact that they're getting challenged, and he's going to get to see the response that they've got in the second half, that things haven't just been all easy for him. Good looking pass down along the baseline, and nice catch by Marcus Lee. And important that he squared his shoulders to the basket so that he had a chance to go up and get fouled, didn't just go up putting his chest right into the defender. That way the defender has to go over your shoulder in order to get to the ball and will likely foul.
Lee out of California. He's also an exceptional volleyball player in high school. Had numerous Division I offers to play that sport, but settled on basketball for a good decision with a 6'9", 220-pound sophomore. Thinking him as maybe a middle blocker, outside hitter maybe.
Yeah, you never know. He's got all kinds of skills. Play on the beach.
You big beach volleyball guy back in LA growing up?
I did not play. My sister played at UCLA. She was an outstanding volleyball player.
There goes Payne with a little runner halfway down the cylinder and spits it out.
Good pass ahead.
Hawkins into Lee. Lyles. Back the other way. Nice fast break by Chalons-Reims.
This one mistake by Kentucky. It looked like Lyles was trying to throw that ball up for a lob dunk. But that mistake led to an easy run out for Chalons-Reims.
Follow won't go. Tied at 46. Chalons-Reims with a chance to take the lead here in the second half.
The other thing, Dave, there's been very few offensive rebound baskets for Kentucky. Now, it's been one and out for the most part.
Chalmers, errant pass up ahead to Lyles. He will lay it up and in.
It looked like Karl Towns had been beaten on that little screen roll, but he did a nice job of just getting a hand up, even though he didn't see that ball. The fact that he put his arm up gave the ball a chance to hit it.
Boy, nice pass from Tasman Mitchell to Darryl Watkins. Willis out of the corner. Derek knocking home the three.
A really nice job by Kentucky to push the tempo. Not just settling to walk the ball up after giving up a an easy dunk to Chalons-Reims. They really pushed it up and got it back quickly.
Jasmine. Boy, splits a couple of Kentucky defenders, fouled on the way to the basket. He'll have some free throws coming up.
Just poor defense by Kentucky, not staying between Tasman Mitchell and the basket. You're not trying to keep him from dribbling toward his own bench. You're trying to protect your paint. And when you jump at every fake, that's when you open things up.
Tasman Mitchell. Good to see him playing some basketball. Had a couple of chances at the NBA, just didn't work out for him. He played in Israel last year where he averaged 14 points a game.
The thing that holds him back is size for position. He's just not you're asking him to be able to play the most athletic position in the NBA, which is the small forward position. Maybe even a 2 guard. That's just not his bag. He's really more of a power forward.
Loose ball underneath. Harrison out to Booker. Aaron, pull-up jumper off the back of the iron, tapped around and kept alive by Kentucky. Great play from Dakari Johnson, and the result is a three-pointer by Devin Booker.
That's a big-time play, Dave. Just the offensive rebound by Dakari Johnson, and then able to get that three-point shot. You know, those threes after an offensive rebound are big-time plays.
There's Lionel Chalmers knocking down the jump shot. It is now 54-53, under 15 to go in the game. Back and forth we go.
Chalons-Reims going with that 2-3 zone. Kentucky's got to move the ball. If they can get into the middle, then turn, collapse it, they'll get something good.
Booker, another 3 attempt. That one no good.
Giving up another layup.
Layup won't go down for Chalons-Reims with the turnover. Back the other way. That goes. And another turnover for Kentucky.
Every turnover's been a layup, and Kentucky has given up a lot of layups. Really, you can quarrel with some of the offense, but it's really been the defense that's been the difference.
Shot clock will hit 10 seconds.
Run out ball screen. Nice split.
Mitchell with the block. It'll belong to Kentucky, and that'll take us to our delayed but yet under 16 timeouts. Kentucky and Chalons-Reims from France in a real tussle. We will talk to the head man of the Wildcat program when we come back. Stay with us right here on the SEC Network. Back on the SEC Network as the Big Blue Bahamas tour continues on from Nassau here in the Bahamas. Kentucky and Chalons-Reims from France in a real tussle. 55-54 second half hoops. Dave Neal, Jay Billis, and joining us now, courtside head coach of the Wildcats, John Calipari. Coach, thanks for joining us. First time you trailed in this whole trip at halftime. Thoughts about the first 20 minutes and how we started the first 6.5 here?
Well, we were awful defensively, gave up too many layups, turnovers that led to direct layups. Didn't help, but it's August. I mean, the bigger point of this is we needed a close game. Let me see now. I'm trying to evaluate, and this gives us the idea, okay, who's going to make plays when it matters? Who will make the free throws when it matters? Who can keep focused and not get antsy when the game is close? And we're playing grown men. I mean, it's perfect for us.
I'm watching Watkins out there. He is a big boy, former Syracuse post player, giving your guys, I guess, something they may not see at the college level with the size of that guy down the post.
Well, you know, and again, the other thing is they're being physical on every screen. They're being physical on drives. All the stuff that grown men are going to do. And it's good for us. I mean, this is what we need to see, what I want to see from my team. you know, some of our turnovers, again, Jay, we say they look a little tired and they become a little bit lazy. They don't talk as much. But again, it's August. That was great play right there by Dakari. Came up. That's just what they didn't do in the first half.
Exactly. He got
Look at his speed. Look at his speed. That's, well, when you're tired, you're not running that fast.
Well, what did you think of your team's talk on defense and their communication in the first half?
All of it, the bigs weren't high enough to help any guard. The guards were not connected enough to stay tight. Because they didn't talk, there were switches that should have happened that they didn't happen. But I'm going to tell you what I said the other day. We haven't worked on defense yet. But these are veterans here, except for Devin. They should know that. But this has been a trip of us trying to come together, figure out how we can try to make each other better, leave no one behind. Everybody's going to be involved in this. We had guys return that we weren't sure would return, didn't think we'd return. Good switch there. All right, good. Now go. He didn't need to come down. Why did Devin come down? Because he's a freshman. He just doesn't know.
Well, the rebound out to Harrison, and Dakari Johnson had his shot blocked. He hit the deck. No foul. Ball will remain with the Wildcats, but it seems like at least last couple of minutes tempo was picked up.
Well, Devin Booker finally sprinted to court, which opened up the ball for Dakari Johnson. Opened up that basket, and he should have dunked it. If you dunk it, that doesn't happen.
Well, if Devin Booker and Aaron Harrison especially sprint the court, you can pass ahead to them. That's an opportunistic three you can get in transition. That opens up things.
Or a drive because they're both big.
And have you been pleased with the way Aaron has driven the ball when he's gotten the opportunity? Because it looks much better than last year, and it was good last year.
Well, what I think you have right now, you have guys that are in better shape, focused more on how they have to play. I love that. Two guys banging each other. All right, let's see if he looks ahead. Is he looking? Yeah, there it is. Nip post and score the ball, kid. Wasn't ready. But Aaron is doing, when he gets to that left hand, he'll make that short shot. And this is the drive you're talking about and the charge, though, but that's all right.
Boy Thrissu's the team's leading scorer. Been a little quiet offensively in this particular game.
Again, when you see guys, again, a little winded. But thank goodness we've been playing, two platoon, because you could imagine if we were going to try to play 6 games in 8 days and play, 7 or 8 guys. But this is great for us. I mean, there it is, a pick and roll. Good. That was a good switch. All right, that was a good switch. I mean, we had to come and cover. There it is. That's what we want to see, Jay. Swing it, swing it, swing it. Nice, and a dunk. Because we ran the court and threw it ahead. But again, when you're a little tired, all those little things are what goes.
Well, is there ever a time, John, during the course of the year that you'd play 6 games in 8 days? Because you'd never do this in the NBA.
No. And here's the other thing. For me, one of the reasons I didn't want to coach, because I'm going to coach like it's February 10th. And it's August, and I can't help myself. I mean, that's just how I coach. I mean, I want these kids to be great. I want them to be, I want them to be the best version of themselves every minute they're out there. And so I'd be on the bench going crazy, and it's August 15th.
All right, we got our under 12 timeout. Kentucky picking up the pace a little bit here. It is a barn burner here in the Kendall Isaacs National Gymnasium. Kentucky up by 3. Boy, it is absolutely gorgeous down here in the Bahamas. Kentucky and Chalons-Reims, a team from France, professional group, including some college guys that play here in the United States, giving Kentucky all they want here in the second half. 58-55. Dave Neal, Jay Billis, along with the coach of the Cats, John Calipari. And Coach, obviously we're here to play basketball, but yet it's also a time for your guys to see another part of the world. It's been kind of a good trip in that regard.
It has. I want them to have fun. I want them to have fun together. I want them to learn. We had Jay come in and talk a little bit. We've done some, we did a Samaritan's Feet where we went into one of the churches and gave shoes out and had, taught a little bit of that. So you want them to take little bits and pieces of stuff home with them, have a ball, and let's see where we are as a team. Learn.
Well, some of the guys learned some things they probably hadn't learned before, and that's how to flip off a sailboat. These guys got out to the Atlantis and enjoyed all that the Atlantis had to offer for the last week. Final game tomorrow, and great seeing these guys in the water. I know some of these guys aren't so fond of the water. You know, Dakari Johnson said his biggest fear is sharks, but yet he's swimming around out there. You gotta love to see the big fella doing that. Good times by everybody.
They all had fun. They all being on the water park is a ball for those guys, and so it was good. You want them to do more than just be here playing basketball. I wanted them to enjoy themselves, but this was a business trip for us. There's the zone, Jay, you were talking about.
Well, the zone was so effective in the first game between these two teams, and I know Chalons-Reims has worked the last couple days in practice against the zone, but Guy Landrietti turning it over on the right side of the floor on the reversal.
How did you think your club played yesterday against the Dominican Republic? You know, their national team. When it was all said and done, what were your thoughts?
Well, we showed transition defensive breakdowns, and again, it's guys that weren't in the mode to go and sprint back. Well, that's nice he made that. But the other side of it is, again, we had some defensive breakdowns, which were just communication. And I'm going to tell you again, we haven't worked much on defense. And a lot of the breakdowns come when there's a freshman involved in it. So, you know, it's been, you know, again, like that right there, two guys watched it instead of hitting heads to go after it. You know, that's where we got to go with this. That's great, Derek. You know, it's great, Derek. Come on. Can I talk like this and coach while I'm doing this? Is that okay?
Absolutely. It's a great insight into what you're thinking while the game's going on.
I don't think while the game's going on, to be honest with you.
You know, against the zone on the last possession, they're back in man-to-man now. But one of the things I've been so impressed with Karl Towns, of the many things, is the poise he shows. He gets the ball in the high post. He doesn't panic, and that's not easy for a lot of freshmen.
Well, he also is a great passer. He can make that shot. You know, a lot of zones will play it so you can throw it to the middle and then get away from that guy because he can't make that shot. Well, Karl can make that shot. Matter of fact, it's one of his better shots right there if he caught it there. But again, we're trying to get motion or movement of the ball. We're 7 foot, so put him in the high post. How are you going to stop him from getting it? And then put shooters on the wings and an athlete under the basket. So it's pretty basic what we're doing. A couple different things, but that was, you know, I'm glad they went zone, Jay, because I wanted to see him play some zone. You know, we want our wings high and back. We want that wing high. He went back. You know, we want this wing high. There it is. Good. That's great.
Because you're driving right into size.
Yep. Come on, let's see the ball. There you go. There you go. That's great. Get up. That's great. Look, over a hand. He made it, but over a hand. There's nothing you can do about that.
Deshaun Butler with that basket for Chalons-Reims. 5-point game. Kentucky led by as many as 9 early on, but Chalons-Reims led at the break. Been back and forth.
And again, you saw the motion against the zone, then getting to spots. And again, this is, you're talking about young guys out here doing this. Look at Derek Willis up there. You know, and having the hand. Good. Oh, my. That's great, though. Proud of those guys. This is, again, you know how much zone do I teach, Jay? You've watched me coach for 20-something.
Basically zero.
So we taught a little bit. I'm trying to get Jim Boeheim to teach me. He won't teach me. He leaves a couple of things out. You know, he shows you some stuff, but he'll leave 2 or 3 things out that would help you.
Leska. He knocks down the 3. 5-point game, a 4-point game again. 8:45 to go.
Chalons-Reims gone zone and man, and it's been good for you to have to figure this out.
Yeah, you know, again, we moved that ball and Derek made a play he couldn't make. But this is good stuff. This is what we need. A 2-bucket game. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can make like that play right there in a 2-bucket game that you just don't make. There's nothing there. You're not going to drive in there. But he's not been in that situation before, ever. So now he gets to learn. I get to show him the tape. Not with a 2-bucket game, you don't make that play. Especially when we're throwing lobs and we're moving the ball inside out. That's the teaching tool. What I'm doing is we show clips of the game tonight after dinner. 15-20 minutes. Yesterday was a lot of transition defense. Today it's going to be a lot of transition defense, a lot of talking. When they had energy, how they looked. When you don't have energy, how you look. Those kind of things we'll be talking about tonight.
I know you have liked this platoon system and how it's looked. Assuming that you stay with that in the season, how do you build practice around that? Do you just keep the two teams against each other all the time?
Well,
how does that work?
First of all, you got Willie coming back and Trey coming back. So now when you sprinkle those in, how do you split those teams up? I would like the two platoon, and now, but you got to get them where both groups can play well together. And then it's like, okay, who starts? Whoever wins today is going to start the game. You're playing the same, and now you're playing a six-man. If a guard gets in foul trouble, okay, you're the guy. If a big guy gets in foul trouble, you're the guy. So that even your 12 get involved in this. So I'm anxious and excited because it's different for me. It's not something I've tried.
Where do you go after this trip? What's the next step for this group?
Well, they get home, and I'll say this: when we get back in September, I'm not, we're not going to do a whole lot of basketball. We got enough done right here, and so we're coming back. A lot of shooting, a lot of individuals, and the other thing this group has done a great job of, they do a great job of getting together, playing pickup. Now, I've had teams that you have to encourage aggressively to go play pickup. This team does it on their own, and they'll play 5-6 days a week, call each other, they're on a list, bang, let's go, and they meet there and they play. If they'll play, we can do less. You can do less conditioning, you can do less basketball driven stuff. This is great, though. This is going to be a couple buckets, and I get to watch upstairs and see them go, and who's going to make plays, and who wants the game winner, Jay? It's not just shooting a game winner. Who wants to shoot it?
Who wants to take it, exactly.
And we'll find out. I know with my veteran guys, but I want to see some of the young guys.
Well, we know Aaron Harrison's got a little knack for that, little pinching for that.
He does, and we need to see if we got more than one.
Well, here is Aaron with the basketball. Back to Andrew as we go under.
See, they'll get a little bit of motion. Now they're trying to do the same thing. Now they're they're going man-to-man after a minute.
Shot clock hits 10.
Just more physical.
Booker.
Got to shoot it. Good, Alex. Oh, man.
Tapped out of bounds.
Yep.
It'll be Kentucky basketball, but that'll take us to our under 8 timeout. Hey, Coach
guys,
Cal,
it's been fun. Whoa, the chair. The chair.
You showed me some quickness, so I
know I've gained a little weight since my hip surgery, but my goodness.
Hey, listen, thanks so much, man.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate it. Coach Cal, I think he's got the insurance to handle that, though. We'll be all right here at the Big Blue Bahamas Tour as it continues. Kentucky and Chalons-Reims in a good one. 7:31 to go in the game. Kentucky, Chalons-Reims, a professional team out of the A division in France. And a good one. 7:31 to play in this contest. We're at Kendall Isaac's Gymnasium here in Nassau, and you look at the Big Blue Bahamas Tour, which will continue tomorrow right here on the SEC Network, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, when the Dominican Republic will face Kentucky. It'll be the last time the Dominican Republic will get together before they head to New York to take on Team USA in Madison Square Garden on the 20th. And now this Chalons-Reims team has certainly made some big strides since they first arrived here in the Bahamas. This is kind of, as Jay said, kind of their preseason camp as well to get ready for their league. But a lot of players you might recognize that have played at a high level in the States.
And have been professionals for quite some time. So they're not fazed by playing a number of games in a row. Kentucky much more talented. I mean, they've got a number of first-round draft picks on this team. But playing another terrific drive by Andrew Harrison, showing his strength at 6'5", 6'6". And how about the use of the left hand? Taking the ball against the bigger Darrell Watkins, who played his college basketball at Syracuse, absorbing that bump and then still finishing off the glass with that left hand. That was pretty.
I mean, that was just, I mean, that was really impressive. And you throw the term around a lot, but that was certainly NBA-like move. You're going to get hit like that, going to the rim at that level. Great first step.
Yeah, and the next step for Andrew Harrison, I think, is on the defensive end. I think the better job he can do guarding the ball, the more valuable a commodity he'll be at the next level and this level. How about that by Aaron Harrison? What a great play. How about that?
Can he cap it off with a three? No, hits the deck. Little run out. Up ahead to Watkins. His reverse layup. You're looking at a guy that's 6'8", 260. Running the floor for Chalons-Reims.
Well, Aaron Harrison fell down, didn't get up quickly enough, but Andrew Harrison needed to get back on that one as well. Yet another transition layup that Kentucky's given up. You know, a few simple things that Kentucky cleans up in this one, and even, you know, they haven't played their best. John Calipari's noted they're tired, playing their 5th game in 7 days. But they'd be pretty far ahead if they had done that.
Harrison boys taking it to the rim here in the last couple of minutes, but Chalons-Reims out and running.
It's a little bit too easy to pass ahead off that miss by Kentucky and get a layup. Boy, Aaron Harrison, after his brother Andrew made that nice drive, he drives in. And that's an area where he's really improved and has done a very good job. He is complementing his perimeter shooting ability with being able to put the ball on the floor. And he just sought out the body of the defender and picked up that foul. You know, Dave, this is the first time that we've had really a ball game down the stretch. And Kentucky has stayed with this straight platoon system. And you wonder, will the Wildcats substitute any differently in the last 4 minutes if we're dealing with a 1 or 2 possession game?
Right, the way this works, it looks like a couple of the youngsters, Towns and Ulis, will be on the floor for the final 4 minutes if the pattern stays the same.
Exactly. Another layup.
Chalmers chases it down. Didn't have any option but to pull it back. 5-point game. Kentucky out in front. 5.5 to play.
Dakari Johnson's got to be out higher on that screen.
Oh, and Johnson got lost. Somebody missed something underneath, and a dunk for Watkins.
Well, it was Johnson that missed it. He wasn't high enough up and was really caught in no man's land and never picked up Watkins when he rolled to the basket. Now the 2-3 zone after the made field goal. They'll screen up top.
That's a 3. Kentucky's lead back to 6 now. Harrison knocking that one home.
Boy, that's pretty.
Chalons-Reims trying to answer back, and they do so. Off the hands of Michel Mirandis.
Back into the. It looks like they're going man to man.
Booker fall away, nothing but net.
Well, that's pretty. Off the high handoff, the little curl on the opposite side. And it looks like they're going to stick with a straight platoon. Another 5 ready to come in. No box out at all for Kentucky. Everybody just went to the rim. The long rebound just passed them.
Payne gets it to Montgomery, and a whistle.
Anytime Chalons-Reims can put Dakari Johnson into ball screen action, they've been doing it and trying to take advantage of this ball screen defense.
Boy, Chalons-Reims starting to feel they got a chance in this one. Montgomery having a huge day. 18, a chance for 19 when we come back. Back in Nassau, Kentucky and Chalons-Reims in a good one, 75-72. Cats out in front, but a chance for Chalons-Reims to cut it to 2. 3:52 to play here in Nassau. Don't forget, on Sunday, SEC Network will bring you a rewind of a classic SEC game. 1980, South Carolina versus Georgia. 2 Heisman Trophy hopefuls, George Rogers, Herschel Walker, took the field to keep their teams undefeated and stay on the road for a shot at that national championship. SEC Rewind, South Carolina, Georgia, 10 o'clock Eastern time right here on the SEC Network. You can also catch it on the Watch ESPN app. I'd say those are pretty good matchup, Walker and Rogers.
Man, you remember when Herschel Walker was a freshman, how he was built and how he played. And if you could have gone to the NFL, right, he was NFL ready right then.
It wasn't fair. I guess it was fair if you were a Georgia fan.
Darrell Watkins had a terrific ball game. 20 points, about to be 20. Well, he missed it. He's probably going to send a postcard to Jim Boeheim and say, "You should have given me the ball more, coach."
He's 9 out of 9 from the field. Or excuse me, 10 out of 10 now from the field. Willis. Ulis. Here's that young group we were talking about with Towns and Ulis, Willis, Hawkins, and Marcus Lee. Be interesting to see if they stay for this full 3:20 on the clock.
Nobody really wanted to make a play there and try to get something. I'm not sure that this should have been reset. Yeah, there's only 1 or 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
John Hampton says 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, they reset it to 35. That should not have happened.
Timeout taken by Kentucky.
Right now with this lineup in, the question is who's gonna take over. That at the end of a clock, if there's going to be a ball screen, who's going to take over? It's got to be Tyler Ulis and find somebody. Get into the lane and find someone.
Barry Roerson coaching this club today. Well, don't forget, weekdays, ESPN Radio's Paul Feinbaum shares his knowledge and opinions on SEC football. It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 o'clock Eastern on SEC Network. Also available live on Watch ESPN. That's weekdays, 3 o'clock Eastern. Don't want to miss that. Already entertaining. And his first show on the network on Friday. Be back on Monday. Well, if you're Kentucky, we heard Coach Cal when he sat with us here for about 10 minutes talk about who's the guy outside of Aaron Harrison that will want to step up and take that shot in a critical, crucial situation.
Well, I think Devin Booker's one of those guys. I don't think he's afraid at all to put up a shot. With this lineup in there, Tyler Ulis is the guy you want to make something happen with the ball in his hands to find someone. But with 2 seconds, really 1 second, it's got to be a catch and shoot. And you might want to get something going toward the basket. But Aaron Harrison has been inserted into the ball game. Andrew Harrison in as well. So you've got a number of options that are different than they had a second ago.
Throws it up in the air over the backboard and nothing doing. It's the first time we've really seen some substitutions. They've broken that pattern of the same 5 on the floor all game. So the Harrisons now on the floor with Ulis, Lee, and Johnson.
Yeah, this is the only time that pattern has been broken, except in a late game situation when Todd Lanter or E.J. Florial were put in the game. A great job by Ulis. Just got bullied.
Chalmers, first time Watkins has missed it all game. Harrison, no good. Watkins with the rebound.
Two point guards essentially in the ball game with Andrew Harrison and Tyler Ulis. And Ulis a little bit different defensively than Aaron. He can really get up underneath Chalmers, and Chalmers really tried to bully him down the lane, use his strength on the last play. Yeah, just too many hands by Harrison on that closeout.
8 seconds on the shot clock when that foul was committed. Not in the bonus yet, so Chalons-Reims will inbound it. Fresh shot clock, 2:14 on the game clock.
Really what Kentucky needs. You try to force a challenge 2-point jump shot, but then you got to make sure that you block out. Everybody's got a box.
Asmund Mitchell swings it around to Mark Payne. Payne. Dribble drive. Couldn't get the layup to go. Thought he was fouled, but there is a foul on Watkins.
That was a terrific drive by Mark Payne, the lefty. And Darrell Watkins really sealed off Dakari Johnson down the low post. You see, he had him sealed off. He just couldn't get that thing to go. Thought he got clipped a little bit by Andrew Harrison.
Here's Aaron Harrison.
Kentucky trying to spread the court.
Little alley-oop. Dakari working hard. Tapped around right to Chalmers. One possession game. 90 seconds to play. Kentucky's won their 4 previous games by an average of 24 points. They got a little bit of a scare from Dominican Republic. It was a 12-point game yesterday.
Well, look at Lyles. What a great job defensively.
Even gets a standing O from his coach.
Well, that just shows that Lyles and Andrew Harrison can play and play effectively at the same time. And he just adds a different dimension, and Harrison is big enough you can put him on a forward like Mark Payne.
Mama's happy too.
That could basically, the clock is still running. I don't know why the clock's still running. They got to fix that. The referees haven't even seen it. The game's about to end in a timeout. But look, this is just big time play by, you know, obviously Lionel Chalmers fell down, but the reason he fell down was the pressure that Tyler Lyles has been putting on play after play after play. And that's the kind of play that can be the difference in a game. I'm a little surprised, frankly, Dave, that Chalons-Reims hasn't put Darrell Watkins into some ball screen action to make Dakari Johnson guard those ball screens they had such a hard time with earlier in the game. They went totally away from it. And that would at least give a little bit of space for Chalmers to get Lyles off of him a little bit.
Yeah, he was getting no help from anybody out here. Lyles, though, the youngster, showing what he will bring to the table in the 14-15 season for Kentucky. Interesting that, I mean, this 3-guard lineup with the Harrison twins and Lyles. First time we've really seen that this week. It's a 5-point game, 1:08 to play. Chalons-Reims will inbound the basketball, 94 feet in front of them.
Kentucky has a foul to give. They certainly don't want to give it up if they don't have to. I'm really surprised that Watkins isn't out there setting the ball screen. That was just bad offense.
Good hustle by Watkins to keep it alive. Butler's 3 no good. Tasman Mitchell rips it away. Chalmers, that won't go. Tapped around. Another chance for Chalons-Reims.
I don't know why they keep taking threes. Chalons-Reims has to foul. I think they know it's an exhibition game as well. They're choosing not to.
Well, Kentucky got tested. 77-72 will be the final score. But Chalons-Reims, first team to really push Kentucky to the brink. But the Cats stood tall in the final 4 minutes and held off the professionals from France. for Kentucky. They were led by Lyles, who had 12 off the bench. Aaron Harrison with 15, Andrew with 11, 3 players in double figures. Willis had 9. As Kentucky shoots 51% from the field, and they win it 77-72. So the Cats go to 5-0 with one more game to go on the Big Blue Bahama Tour. This was the play of the game. Lyles with the steal and the lay-in. Back. We'll talk to some